I'm pleased to announce that we're officially restoring the Presidential Fitness Test and the Presidential Fitness Award, and it's going to be a very big thing. From the late 1950s until the 2013, graduate scholars all across our country competed against each other in the Presidential Fitness Test, and it was a big deal. This was a wonderful tradition, and we're bringing it back.
Hey, by the way, I was very distracted while we were talking about fitness. Matt popped his neck, and it was like 10 million bones I just heard pop out at the same time. That didn't sound very fit.
No, well, I am just segueing about my own health. I've got to go and have disc replacements in my neck.
Oh, great.
Yay.
Wow. Okay. Well,
yeah, I just went like that and all of a sudden died. Like I clicked my neck and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. So there at his announcement, and I think as part of his commission, he had Bryson DeChambeau. Did I say that right, Stephen? Was that offensive?
Bryson.
Right. That's what I said. Bryson DeChambeau.
I don't think it was
DeChambeau?
the first part that you were worried about. Was it?
Yeah, I wasn't Bryson. I know Bryson.
DeChambeau.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Triple H, WWE wrestler, Lawrence Taylor, former New York Giants linebacker, and then Harrison Butker, Kansas City Chiefs kicker. And Caroline Leavitt added later on, President Trump wants to ensure America's future generations are strong, healthy, and successful. He wants every young American to have the opportunity to emphasize healthy, active lifestyles, creating a culture of strength and excellence for years to come. Now, maybe this is why we just talked about yesterday. The New York Times had an article that was, well, they did an entire podcast, I should say, about how the right is obsessing over health. They're obsessing over being thin. They're just obsessing over it. What is that anyway? And, this is something that the presidential fitness test, this is something that we won't hold it against the test that it was instituted in 1966 by LBJ. We won't hold it against the test. Okay, but it emphasizes performance. It's competitive against other students, and there are winners and losers. And it, of course, was replaced in 2012 by Barack Obama and replaced with the FitnessGram, which was non-competitive. It's just feedback. There's no competition. There's no there is a winner. It's everyone. Everyone's a winner with the FitnessGram because we don't want anyone to feel left out. I mean, if someone's 500 pounds, you don't want them to feel bad about it. So no awards, okay? Just feedback. Everyone's a winner. So with the presidential fitness test, you had sit-ups, pull-ups, shuttle run, a 1 mile run, a sit and reach, and then the FitnessGram was the pacer test, which is progressive aerobic cardiovascular endurance run, curl-ups, push-ups, sit and reach, and then body composition. But again, there's no competition here. Every person for himself. And so now you have another maha win, in my opinion, that we are going back to the basics of health and fitness and competitiveness and trying to encourage an athletic performance and lifestyle rather than just everyone's on their own journey.
Well, what they want is a fat and lazy population, right? I mean, that's what they want because they're the voters that they want. They want to be eventually just be taken care of. I love the fact they had Butker in there, which is a massive troll. You got to give him as well.
Sure.
He's really giving the middle finger up to the left, which is great. But listen, I mean, I'm a big believer in fat shaming. I am. I mean, I really do, and I think that even if you look at Lance Armstrong, by the way, that he was a swimmer originally, and then he found out that he was a great biker by biking to his swim class, and I think that what we've lost with this ridiculous everyone's a participant is we have lost that number one, the edge. Right, all across society, because losing teaches you more than winning does, right? It teaches you to get back up, and that is really essential, I think, for Americans especially, and ever since that has we've had this participation trophy bullshit. What it's done is it's created an entire generation of entitled people that don't understand why they're not getting what they want because they just got what they want with no merit. And this is what it is again. At the end of the day, it's getting back to merit-based things, but also clearly, even though they might not like it, it's really good for you. It's good that you aren't obese because you know what? There's all this burden. You know, the left really wants nationalized healthcare, right? Well, you have nationalized healthcare, all the fat people. I'm sorry, it's just a fact, right? The number one killer, I believe, is heart disease. Yeah. He overburdens the system. So this is actually good for you. And in conjunction with all the other things that RFK is doing, this is a fantastic positive for the United States. No, hands down. And I think it also, you know, like I said about doing other things, you know, if you have a basic fitness, because a lot of people just go, look, I'm out of shape, I'm not going to do anything. Then you were a sprinter. I mean, I grew up watching Carl Lewis, watching, you know, the greats in America, Michael Johnson, which was funny because a lot of people don't know who Michael Johnson is. And I'm like,
right here, Dallas, Texas.
Greatest 400-meter runner ever. And we used to watch it and we would marvel over the Americans. It was like, darn it, we got really good athletes, but the Americans always ended up winning. But I think that what it will do is it gives...
Yeah, that's right, and don't you forget it.
I'm an American, baby. Don't you forget it. So, but then it does inspire people to, you know, you have some people that might never, ever consider doing football. Some people never consider doing basketball. And then you only find that out, number one, by failing, right? You're like, I'm not good at that. Let me try something else. But also, if you're not doing any of it, then you're not exposed to it at all, right? And I think that... You know, healthy mind, healthy body. This is all very good. It's a massive positive, and I don't see. Well, I know why they're saying that it's a bad thing, right? Because, like I said, they want slaves. That's what they want. They want a compliant, you know, fat, lazy population.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, but this week is a win. You have Sydney Sweeney's ad and American Eagle, and you got the presidential fitness test back instituted and back in schools.
Yeah, it's more like when I say performative, I'm not saying that in a negative connotation. I'm saying it more. It's to send
literally
a message, right? Yeah. In a literal sense, right? And that the whole point of this is to at least get the mind, definitely these young folks, to get their minds kind of jogging on this is an important thing to you. Everything that you consume for the most part, especially in America, whether it be your food, whether it be what you're watching, how you consume that type of media, it really encourages you to be fat. If I can be completely honest, not immobile and not moving. And I think that sending that signal, again, particularly to young people, is very, very, very important. I would make the argument that a lot of these young folks are going to learn a lot through physical fitness about life in general. And this is why I'm such a big advocate of playing some sort of sport, right? I say it all the time that I learned a lot. I would argue, and people may disagree with me on it, but I'm just being honest, definitely in the public school system, a lot of what 95% of what you learn is bullshit anyway, and you'll never apply it to your real life. That's just the reality of what it was when I was growing up. Most of the stuff that I apply to every day, be it from the discipline standpoint and everything, was stuff that I got being a track and field athlete all through college. From again, even like hearing out criticism from like coaches and being coachable and all that. These are all sorts of things that you apply. I apply right now every day in business, and I got a lot of that not from the sitting in some school for 45 minutes to an hour in some like box. That I didn't get that from that. And like I said, and you kind of alluded to this, doing that and just being physically active is something that's very important because you do start to gravitate towards what you can do, right? And sometimes you never, ever know. Like I was almost destined to be a track and field athlete because my father was a track and field athlete at the collegiate level as well. But I was also doing other sports, and it was actually football that I ended up doing because I first ran the 40 in 8th grade. And I just absolutely destroyed like every other kid in there. And that's kind of got my mind jogging like this football thing. I'm okay at it, right? I could be okay at it. But track and field is where I'm I'm sprinting forward. That's what my thing is. Yeah. But like I say, if I'm not active and if I'm not doing anything, how do I even know that, right? And like I said, that's not the only sport that exists out there. But people being physically fit, to your point, the fact that lets you know how much of a sham that people advocating for like a nationalized health care in some capacity are so full of crap, because they would be against things like this and against like actually, I don't know, getting people active so that they don't become a burden on the system. But that's not what these people want. They don't even consider that. I'm like, okay, well, if I have to do this and that, there should be fitness requirements and so forth, but they'd be against that. They think that was an invasion of privacy, but so ultimately they just want people to be able to subsidize, their bad behavior. That's ultimately what this is about. You become less reliant on medicine, less reliant on, actually, that is the true medicine as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely preventable medicine is just being in shape, eating right and being in shape. And that's stuff that you learn from a young age, you can keep with you for the rest of your life. So anybody that encourages that, I'm all for it.
And by the way, discipline,
so saying,
working
all
with
that
other people.
Stuff you learn in sports.
And by the way, one of the things that I think is really remarkable, if you speak to the majority of athletes in this country and anyone that played sports here, they'll tell you that the coach that they loved the most was the one that was the hardest on them, because they understood that he didn't accept their excuses. He said, listen, you got to push yourself more and you will find your limits. And it's like when the guys, one of the amazing things about the Navy SEALs is when they go through buds, is part of that is understanding that they've gone past what they thought was possible. And also when they look around, they go, he's done it as well. He's done it as well. So I know there's a level of the people that are with me. So when they're going into war, they're not worried about carrying the other guy. There's a level of expectation there. And I think that we've lost that. We really have lost that with discipline. Even like you say, just in something as silly as in business where people like show up 5 minutes late. Like I've always said, if you do not show up 15 minutes early, you are 5 minutes late. Like that's it. Anything other than that, that's the way it is. And that gets drummed into. I remember my son, who was a swimmer, like they said, if you don't find out where your podium is, and this is from when he was 6, like it's up to you. We're not finding where your podium is and we're not finding what time you're going to go on. You've got to do that yourself. And it really did establish him as a independent individual. Initially, it's like as a kid, as a parent, you haven't gone through it. You're like, what is going on? And then you realize they miss 1, they miss 2, they miss 3 races. They do not miss any anymore. It's a huge positive.
If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.